僕がもう緊張してもう何も分からなかったんですけど、彼がちゃんと冷静に落ち着いてやるべきことをやってくれたんで、最後風船から出てきて時に皆さんが立って拍手をしてくれてたので、もう本当にもう泣きそうになりました。
It's not just winning, it's about changing their lives.
Do you believe in dreams? That stage is where dreams come true.
It was incredible.
You are a star.
AGT, Tuesday on NBC and Peacock.
The trailblazing Jesse Graff goes for glory once again. Hasn't hit a buzzer in 4 years. Oh, it's gonna be close.
Ninja Warrior, Monday on NBC and Peacock. The Paris Olympics begin Friday, July 26th on NBC and Peacock.
Live from Rhinelander, this is News Watch 12 Weekends, the Northwoods' best news, with Austin Carisu, meteorologist Conrad Sapinski, and Drew Chelly with sports. News from where you live starts now.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Austin Carisu. President Biden addressed the nation from the White House on Sunday night, just after a day after a gunman opened fire at former President Donald Trump's campaign rally in Pennsylvania. The shooting killed one man and wounded Trump and 2 other people. The president called on all Americans to lower the temperature in the country's politics.
It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that. Yes, we have deeply felt strong disagreements. The stakes in this election are enormously high. I've said it many times that the choice in this election we make in this election is going to shape the future of America and the world for decades to come. I believe that with all my soul.
The president said he would continue to campaign this week and make the case for his reelection. And investigations into the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump are intensifying tonight, focused on the 20-year-old suspect and what many are calling a failure by the Secret Service to secure the Pennsylvania rally where Mr. Trump was speaking when the shots were fired. Jay Gray has more.
His face bloody, fist raised.
Let me get my shoes on.
Former President Trump rushed from the stage after an assassination attempt. Chaos and panic. Now, a full day later, giving way to prayers and calls for unity. Mr. Trump writing on social media, in this moment, it is more important than ever that we stand united and show our true character as Americans. A message echoed by President Biden.
Unity is the most elusive goal of all, but nothing is important than that right now.
The former president maintaining his schedule, traveling to Milwaukee this afternoon ahead of the Republican National Convention as dual investigations intensify. The FBI focused on the alleged shooter, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. Agents saying he was armed with a semi-automatic rifle registered to his father and that explosive materials have been identified inside his car and home. While Homeland Security agents tried to determine how it could have happened, how a rooftop less than 150 yards from the rally was left open and accessible.
Coverage of this building and the roof was built in to the overall security plan, and coverage fell through the cracks, which means nobody ensured that coverage was actually in place, or it wasn't built into the overall plan at all.
We're also learning more about a firefighter in the crowd, Corey Comparator, killed in the crossfire. A husband and father of 2 young girls.
Corey died a hero. That Corey dove on his family to protect them last night at this rally. Corey was the very best of us.
2 others in the crowd were wounded and remain in the hospital tonight, their conditions upgraded from critical to stable. Jay Gray, NBC News, Butler, Pennsylvania.
The head of the Wisconsin Republican Party says this week's national convention will go as planned. In a press conference Sunday, Brian Schimming shared his condolences for the victims in the attempted assassination of former President Trump, and he made it clear that he does not expect the former president to scale back his participation in the convention in the wakes of Saturday's shooting.
Everything for the convention is going on as planned. There are no major changes whatsoever at this point to the schedule for the convention that will be held here this week.
The convention starts tomorrow and will last until Thursday. Meteorologist Conrad Sapinski joins us now, where it looked like another warm and sunny day outside today.
Wow, it was toasty out there, right? Wow, very toasty out there. We did have a couple of showers, you know, but nothing too bad, nothing severe. We didn't really hit that severe criteria. No warnings have been issued, but whole different story down south into southern parts of the state, northern Illinois. There's actually a tornado warning in the west suburbs of Chicago. I actually just gave my family a phone call around 5 to 6 minutes ago, just to make sure everybody's all safe and sound, get everybody prepared. Lots of severe weather down south. Earlier today, look at this, felt like a nice and summer toasty day, close to 90 degrees here in town, mid-80s closer to Tomahawk, and same story closer to Hayward. Our average is right around 80 degrees. Check out that record high, triple-digit heat back in 1936, and we will not get anywhere near that, and we weren't anywhere near that, and we won't. Still close to 90. I'll take that any day, right? The winds are pretty calm. They're going to continue to stay calm into these overnight hours. By tomorrow, same story. Tonight, though, temperature-wise, though, we're going to be above average, hovering close to 60 degrees. Austin?
Thanks, Conrad. And former President Donald Trump's campaign has started a GoFundMe page to raise money for the victims shot during Saturday's rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. One spectator died and 2 others were wounded. Trump was also wounded in his ear during the attempted assassination. The Trump campaign's national finance director organized the GoFundMe page. Meredith O'Rourke issued a statement that says the former president authorized the account so people can financially help the families or those wounded or killed during the rally. Some of Trump's allies and supporters are sharing the GoFundMe link online, including Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, who is a leading contender to be Trump's vice presidential pick. And 1 man is dead after a car accident Saturday evening in Portage County. On Saturday, July 13th at 5:15 p.m., the Portage County Sheriff's Office Communications Center received a report of a single vehicle traffic crash with injuries on County Highway JJ in the town of Buena Vista. Multiple local agencies were dispatched to the scene on County Highway JJ, approximately 600 feet south of Coddington Road. Investigation revealed 50-year-old William C. Scarce from Bancroft was driving a 2001 Buick passenger car southbound on County Highway JJ when he failed to maintain control of the vehicle. The passenger car left the roadway, overturning several times in a nearby farm field, and William was ejected from the passenger car and sustained fatal injuries as a result. William was the sole occupant of the vehicle, with speed, inattentive driving, and drug use are being considered as contributing factors. The crash remains under investigation by the Portage County Sheriff's Office. Nearly all of AT&T cell phone customers have been impacted by a massive breach. The telecom company says the compromised data includes tens of millions of customers' phone numbers made between May 1st, 2022 and October 31st, 2022. Customers' personal information and the context of their calls or texts were not exposed. AT&T has promised to notify those impacted. The company says its data was illegally downloaded from its workplace and on a third-party cloud platform. The mobile giant reports that it has closed the illegal access point and is working with law enforcement to find those responsible. At least one person has been arrested, and the FBI says AT&T learned about the breach in April but delayed disclosing it publicly because of the potential national security and public safety risks. AT&T says this incident is not connected to another breach disclosed in March. At the time, personal information, including social security numbers for 73 million current and former customers, were released on the dark web. And Hodag Country Festival has wrapped up for the 2024 year. We'll have some attendance reactions of this year's event after Weather with Conrad when we come back.
At Lakeside Living Design, we've always got something stylish in store for you. Whether you're looking for high-quality custom upholstery, decorative accessories and gifts, or are designing your space entirely from scratch, you'll have a friendly designer by your side sharing their expertise, helping you bring your unique style to life. So stop by, explore our showroom, and together we'll make your space feel just like home.
to Carpet City Flooring Center and get the toughest waterproof floors in the industry, where they're in stock and on sale. Rigid Maximum XL is 50% thicker and 30% longer, resulting in maximum durability, which is perfect for active families and pets. Not to mention, it's easy to install. Come to Carpet City Flooring Center to get your Rigid Maximum XL waterproof floors today.
Carpet City, our prices will floor you.
Like a lot of things, people come in all different sizes. That's why Slumberland invented the Any Size One Low Price Mattress Sale. Right now, for our anniversary, no matter what size mattress you want, twin, full, queen, or king, you pay just one low price. Get this memory foam for just $99. Any size, just $99. Want it thicker? Any size, just $169. Even thicker? Any size, just $199. Any size, one low price mattress sale. Only at Slumberland.
Carry the Cross Go is pleased to announce the 2024 Inspire Heal Unite concert to be held July 21st at Merrill Normal Park at 3 p.m. Located at 600 Center Avenue near Merrill Chamber of Commerce building. Scheduled to perform at 3 p.m. is Consumed by Fire, three brothers from Oklahoma that write, tour, and sing songs about faith, hope, and love, such as First Things First, Walk with Jesus, Goodbye Old Me, Say the Name, to name a few of their hits. Concert admission is free, concession stand will be open. Join us for an entertaining evening. Visit our website at carrythecrossco.org.
And we're back. Thank you so much for tuning on in. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Now, talking about the heat. The heat is here, the center part of country. All of these, that is heat advisories, even some heat warnings. But that's in the East Coast for the most part, stretching down south, South Carolina, all the way up north into Philly. D.C., you are under excessive heat warnings. And to the west, I mean, more of fire danger, not really a big heat event. But Denver, wow, you saw triple-digit heat for several days in a row. Now rain finally in the area, a little bit of a relief, cooler temps in the area. In the west, right, all that rain has to go somewhere. It's going to go back into our area. And that's for tomorrow. For Monday, tomorrow's that day where potentially more severe weather. We'll be back in the forecast here in town. Starting Tuesday, it really dries out. Starting Tuesday, the rest of the week, we're mainly going to be dry, so really dry stretch is going to start to develop. Now, in and around the Chicago area, you see this? Dangerous storms. I actually just gave a phone call to a few people out there just because there is tornado warnings that have been posted and severe thunderstorm warnings in and around the west suburbs of Chicago. Some stronger storms with a lot of energy, even into southern parts of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Madison. You saw your share of severe thunderstorms just 30 minutes ago. Now, Milwaukee, you are dealing with some of these storms. Now, this is for tomorrow. All over the Northwoods, mainly a marginal risk of some severe weather. Still, some hail, gusty winds, even possibly some isolated tornadoes are possible, even in this green area. This marginal risk, you just never know. With any severe thunderstorms, always be on alert. A little bit more of a risk into central parts of the state, into Adams County, south of Wausau. That's where we are more of a slight risk and a little bit more of an enhanced risk south of Madison, right into southern parts of the state, North Illinois. That's where we're looking at even an enhanced risk of some severe weather. For tonight, though, mainly around 1 a.m., things will start to improve. Green Bay, you're going to see all that those stronger thunderstorms in your area. And then we're mainly going to be in the clear, right? Tomorrow afternoon, that's when another line of showers and even some thunderstorms. These are going to have a lot of energy in that. And this is where I'm looking at maybe even some hail embedded in that, passing by the area by the afternoon hours. And then by the evening hours, things will finally start to calm down once again. And then by Tuesday, we are in the clear for the most part. Maybe a couple of sprinkles into central parts of the state. Other than that, we're all going to be in the clear. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, things are going to continue to improve, and it is really going to dry out. Dew point's a bit on the sticky end, right? Anything around 60 and higher as a dew point temperature, that's where it begins to be sticky. 70 and over, and that's feeling it. You're definitely feeling it, right? So I've been in Costa Rica in a dry rainforest where dew points were pretty much in the 80s, mid 80s, and close to 90s. And I had my wet clothes outside for 4 days, and it was still wet 4 days later. So that's how you know the humidity has a really, really big effect on how quickly things dry up and just how you feel, how your skin feels. Is it going to be sticky outside or not, even just opening that door? No worries though, folks. We're going to continue to improve with that dew point temp. Right down Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, dew point temperature is going to be on the comfortable levels, even right in time for the weekend. We are looking at pretty low dew points, and temperatures are going to drop as well. Speaking of dropping temperatures, we were in the 80s earlier today, close to 90 here in town, right back in the 60s and 70s right now. Of course, we have been cooling off. History trend, wow, last 9 days we've been 80 and above, and that trend will be continuing into the day tomorrow as well. As our 7-day outlook brought to you by Northwoods Furniture Mattress does show the 82 out there for tomorrow, a bit cooler Tuesday, especially into Wednesday, and then back into the 80s by the weekend. Austin?
Thanks, Conrad. The 46th annual Hodag Country Music Festival concluded tonight after Chris Johnson completed his headlining set. Newswatch 12's Jake Force visited the festival and has more from some rowdy and longtime attendees.
Hodag is just such a good environment. Everywhere you walk around Hodag, everyone's always saying happy Hodag. Just a great place to be. The vibes are good. Cheers.
Madison Cook, Leanna Galls, and Jaden Botello attended their 6th Hodag Country Festival in Rhinelander this weekend. The trio of Colby natives said that despite the heavy rain on Saturday afternoon, the party at Hodag Fest never stops.
There's just like the best crowd here. The people are so inviting, friendly. There's always good music, good time, good drinks. I mean, it's just a good time all around.
I look forward to it every summer. I have a countdown in my calendar. It's just the best.
And there were much more experienced attendees reflecting on Hodag festivals of the past, like Lynn Smith, who has been to every single Hodag Fest except one and has the legendary stories to prove it. She also has possibly the best excuse for the one that she missed.
I had to miss 1991 because I was expecting a baby. So around 1985, there was a group of about 30 of us from the Crandon area, and we started the hi Neil or hi Joe, whoever's up there, and it caught on, and today it's one of the biggest, best things that people look forward to.
Hi, I'm Jake.
Hi, Jake!
Smith also looked back on one of her favorite memories of a legend who once played through a rainstorm, just like some had to do on Saturday.
One of the years, too, was Willie Nelson was playing, and, of course, he's one of my favorites. And it was pouring rain, similar to what it was earlier today. And he was out there playing for a crowd of, a small crowd because of the rain, and singing Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, so that was pretty awesome.
When asked about who she was most excited to see perform this weekend, Smith surprised me by saying the performer is sort of like an old friend.
Aaron Tippin was always one of my favorites, and I have pictures with him from way back when, and he's just always been a good singer, so I like him.
As for the 3 ladies from Colby, the answer to that same question was emphatic and unanimous.
Chris, yeah!
In Rhinelander, I'm Jake Force, Newswatch 12.
And a young business owner pursuing her dream. We'll tell you how she opened her business before even graduating high school.
Serious injury due to a dog bite can lead to major concerns, resulting in a complex case. You don't need to go to a big city to find the best personal injury attorney. You have Bremer & Trollope who can help you right here in your hometown.
We are honored to be recognized by our peers as top-rated personal injury attorneys and can help you navigate the most complex of cases.
If you've been injured, call Bremer & Trollope law offices. You will never be asked to pay out of your pocket. When we win your case, we are paid out of your settlement or verdict, because the right results matter most.
Here's to sweet summer days together in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment. Here's to supper club celebrations. And to a lifetime of memories. Here's to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder. And dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin.
What would you do? How far would you go? get to Schindelholtz Dental.
I'm so glad we're finally getting our new boat.
Right? So you guys picked out a boat. I'm going to have that to you in about 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Not at American Marine in Shawano. Buy a boat from us today and have it on the water next week. And we have more in stock than anyone else in Wisconsin. Pick from 900 boats and pontoons, priced low and ready to use. We will beat any competing deal by $500. Start having fun now and get on the water faster with American Marine Shawano.
If you have any plans to visit our neighbor state, Michigan, anytime soon, you may want to check out this business run by a teen. Julie Dunmeyer has the story.
On the Lake Michigan shoreline in the beach town of Pentwater, a family-run lakeshore storefront.
My parents have taught me how to work extremely hard.
Addison Bringadall, however, is no beach bum.
I appreciate that they've taught me that, so now I can work hard.
She runs this place at just 17.
This is a general store, camp store, and then we rent golf carts and repair golf carts.
And she's graduated high school early, too.
It was amazing. It felt really good to just be done.
By the way, she's also started her own business.
So I started making freshly squeezed fair-style lemonade.
With licensing, permits, and everything. Addison's first weekend over the 4th of July, a success.
And that's 7. Really well. I definitely made back more than what I spent on it.
It's all thanks, she says, to online school. Addison crediting Great Lakes Learning Academy, where she took business classes as a high schooler.
I got really interested in business after my parents had their businesses.
Her diploma making its way to the front door of the family store. Bethany Bringadall is one proud mom.
You know, she tells me all of the time that good things come to those who work hard, and she's never been afraid to be a hard worker, so we're really proud of her.
As for the future, Addison plans to keep on going with her small business ownership, hoping to take the lemonade stand down south to Florida this winter as a food truck.
Not everyone needs college.
The Milwaukee Brewers faced off against the Washington Nationals in the final game before the All-Star break. Coming up on News Watch 12, Drew Celli will tell us if the crew were able to get to the break on a high note.
Are you pool people? Then you need the Pool People. From in-ground and above-ground pools to swim spas, hot tubs, and everything that goes with it. Hurry, get a free cold plunge pool with hot tub purchase. Count on the Pool People to be your pool people.
Your home is more than just a roof, walls, and windows. It's an investment, a place where memories are made with family and friends. Overhead Solutions is here to help you with all of your roofing needs.
Get an 11% rebate on everything now at Menards. Update your home with new indoor-outdoor carpet. Ashbury carpet is weather-resistant, making it ideal for an outdoor space. Only 89 cents a square foot after rebate. Shop our stylish selection of Hunter ceiling fans and elevate your home's living space. Pick up the Bryn ceiling fan for $134.97 after 11% rebate at Menards. America's #1 home improvement retailer for customer satisfaction.
Save big money at Menards.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on.
I want that.
Amazing offers and a great selection of Ford vehicles, like the Built Wild Bronco family, with a deal you just can't miss. Your biggest adventures are waiting. So make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now.
I want that.
Make it a lease on a new Ford Bronco Sport for just $319 a month for 36 months. Only at your Wisconsin Ford dealer.
Listen to Senator Tammy Baldwin.
What is your view of the Biden presidency?
It is one of the most successful administrations in generations.
Most successful in generations? Inflation is sky high. Our border is wide open. Drugs flood our streets. The world is in chaos.
One of the most successful administrations in generations.
If this is success, we're in big trouble.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
Learn how to train your dog with replacement behavior on What Do You Want Your Dog to Do with Jay Schaefer. First Tuesday of the month on Up North at 4. Brought to you by Schaefer's IGA Crandon, serving the Northwoods since 1935.
Are you pool people? Then you need the Pool People. From in-ground and above-ground pools to swim spas, hot tubs, and everything that goes with it. Hurry, get a free cold plunge pool with hot tub purchase. Count on the Pool People to be your pool people.
It has been a tough stretch for the Milwaukee Brewers over the last few weeks. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games. However, the crew had an opportunity today to not only end their losing streak, but to go into the All-Star break on a high note if they could take down the Nationals in their series finale. So let's see if the Brewers were able to get the win in the final game before the All-Star break. Starting in the bottom of the first inning, man on second for Willie Adames. He goes to deep right field. This one going to hop up against the wall and over the wall for a ground rule double. That'll bring in Christian Yelich, and it is 1-0 Brewers. We move ahead to the fourth inning. Brewers up 4-1. Nats chipping away. Juan Yepez hits one into right field. That's a base hit. That's going to bring a run in from second to score, and it is now a 4-2 game. Brewers still lead moving to the bottom of the fourth, and they respond well. Garrett Mitchell dead center field. That one not coming back. That's a 2-run shot. Brewers offense wakes up in this one. They win it 9-3. Here's what manager Pat Murphy had to say about today's performance. Oh, a little trouble there getting sound from Coach Murphy after the Brewers' 9-3 win over the Nationals today as they go into the All-Star break. Now, the MLB wasn't done yet with their festivities for the day as we go to the All-Star break. The MLB also had major business to take care of off of the field as the 2024 MLB draft took place this evening. The Brewers had the 17th pick in the draft, and they selected Braylon Payne, a 17-year-old recent high school graduate out of Elgins High School in Missouri City, Texas, just a teenager. So it's going to be quite a while before he can make his way up to the bigs, hopefully for Brewers fans. But the Brewers add to their system with one of the top high school names in the draft. The NBA Summer League is in full swing out in Las Vegas, where recent draft picks and fellow young stars are out to prove that they belong on an NBA roster come October. The Bucks were in action today against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it was a tough day for the Bucks youngsters. They fell to the Cavs by a score of 112-81. The Bucks return to action on Tuesday when they take on the LA Clippers. The 2024 Wimbledon Men's Singles Championship was a rematch of 1 year ago. The defending champion Carlos Alcaraz looking to defend his crown against the 7-time Wimbledon champion Novak Djokovic. The first 2 sets were all Alcaraz as the 21-year-old dominated, winning each of the first 2 sets by a 6-2 score. In the third set, Novak would put up much more of a fight. He would ultimately send this third set into a tiebreak. In the tiebreak, 5-4 Alcaraz, and watch the drop shot here. It's as good as it's going to get. He has championship point. Next point, big serve by Alcaraz. Djokovic can't get the return back in play. Carlos Alcaraz, for the second year in a row, wins the Wimbledon crown. We'll be right back after the break.
When a crane collapsed during construction of a major league sports stadium, 3 workers lost their lives. Their widows called us. When maintenance workers were permanently injured by an industrial accident at a public utilities power plant, the 7 injured workers called us. When a factory exploded, injuring dozens of workers, 18 victims, including all 3 families of men who lost their lives, called us. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, and Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Sure is nice to have my 3 older kids home to visit.
Oh yeah, I love coming home. I miss having soft water.
That's why I bring my laundry home on the weekend.
It's so much better for my hair too, but you wouldn't know anything about that, Corey.
Well, that's why my hair looks so nice and moisturized.
What do you know about moisturized hair?
Well, having 2 older sisters and a brother who only showers a couple times a week helps.
Well, actually, 72 years of treating water in Wisconsin is our family story. You kids are pretty well versed in water.
So let us make your family's water better today.
The North Woods can be a hotbed of severe weather. To stay up to the minute on when and where storms will hit, tune into the weather team you can count on. Weather Watch 12. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Weller, Meteorologist Devin Biggs, and Meteorologist Conrad Sapinski break down severe weather live on WJFW Facebook Live and the WJFW Weather app, so you and your family can be prepared and safe from severe weather. Weather Watch 12, from where you live.
Keep 15 grand in your pocket when you buy your next truck. This 2024 Duramax is 95 grand. This used 2024 is 80 grand. Buy the used and keep the 15 grand. Come out to Len's Truck today. We have hundreds of high-quality used trucks, all priced to move. Go now to lenstruck.com. That's lenstruck.com.
Len's Truck. Len's Truck. We got the trucks at Len's Truck.
Think your concrete's on solid ground? The good news is your home's concrete problems can be fixed permanently, because concrete problems won't get better with time, but they will get better with us. Call SureDry today for your free estimate.
This summer, submit your favorite water photo to the Summer Fun in the Water contest for your chance to win an ice cream cone at Pirates Hideaway. Submit your summer fun photos at WJFW.com. Sponsored by Pirates Hideaway.
Celebrate savings during our anniversary sale at your locally owned and operated Slumberland Furniture Store. Huge selection and an incredible price with a small town feel and satisfaction guarantee.
A special Maryland boy got the surprise of his young life Friday, and it's all thanks to the wildly popular Savannah Bananas baseball team. Bananas are bringing their Banana Ball World Tour to Washington, D.C. this weekend, where they'll be playing the Firefighters. Ahead of the game, Banana players appeared at a donut shop in Alexandria, Virginia, where they surprised 8-year-old Clyde Hicks with tickets to the game. Hicks is a huge baseball fan and is battling cancer in his spine and brain as a result of a rare genetic condition.
You guys ever watch the Savannah Bananas?
I have.
I have before.
Comedy. It is so fun. Like, I know it's not traditional baseball, but it is a show worth going to if you get the chance. It is awesome.
Wow. Have you guys ever met any baseball players, like professional baseball players, or no?
No, I haven't.
Not yet?
I got a couple on the list.
Nice.
But yeah,
Very
no.
cool.
If you haven't watched the Savannah Bananas, though, that takes baseball just whole new ball game.
Do you remember Johan Santana or no?
I do.
You know, I actually saw him at a pizzeria like 20 years ago. Yeah, I know.
That's a name.
What a crazy scenario, right? But weather was pretty good then, you know, and weather is pretty good right now, but it's not going to be that nice all night. We are looking at potentially a little bit more thunder action going on. It does look like we're going to continue to clear up for us down south, southern Wisconsin, north Illinois. Look at that. A strong line of severe thunderstorms is moving in right now. Now, this is for tomorrow, right? Further northwards, a marginal risk of severe weather. Central Wisconsin, a little bit more of a slight risk. Southern Wisconsin, you are looking at, once again, an enhanced risk of some severe weather. That is going to be a whole combination of things for tomorrow, especially tomorrow afternoon into those evening hours. Now, look at those temperatures. Back in the 80s right now. OKC, Dallas still at 90 right now. Phoenix, 104, and Vegas, you are still at triple-digit heat. 70s back in the forecast. 60s on Wednesday. Back in the 80s by the weekend. So a little up and down roller coaster type of ride.
Didn't see a lot of rain on that graph.
Not at all. It's going to be dry. Get ready, guys.
As we should. That's all the time we have tonight. Thank you for joining us.
I was in foot pain for 20 years. I bought all these products, and not a single one worked. When I drove past the Good Feet store, I thought, I'm going to stop in. What can it hurt? They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet, not somebody else's feet. And you just knew, like, your feet just, when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh, yeah. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Northwoods Windows has been helping homeowners all over central and northern Wisconsin with replacement windows, patio entry doors, and more. We've done installations in over 10,000 homes, including cottages, churches, and businesses. Our installers are trained, experienced professionals, and we're an authorized dealer of home improvement products from some of the top manufacturers. We offer free in-home consultations, no-pressure sales, honest pricing, and a job well done. Contact Northwood Windows today and see why you should choose us.
Everyone
Everyone deserves the fastest, most reliable internet speeds, regardless of where they live. That's why Spectrum offers the fastest speeds in more neighborhoods than any other provider.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month. Call 1-833-376-4999.
With Spectrum Internet, you can power all of your devices to enjoy streaming, video chatting, and gaming. I rely on Spectrum Internet. You should too. Call now.